This secret Minecraft tip will blow your mind.
Alright, so we got our cauldron here. We're gonna put our lava in and then the water. Oh my gosh. Whoa, that is weird. The water with the lava just mixed together. But here we're gonna try going in the lava and yep, that does burn. That does burn. So cauldrons full of lava still sets you on fire. And the surrounding water does not touch you inside the cauldron, so it can't extinguish you while you are standing in the lava. So pretty much if you decide to stay in there, you are dead. Unless you get out and touch some water. Kind of like touching grass, but you know, this is for, you know, keeping you alive. But yeah, this is real. Okay, we've seen this many times before, but this is a mod for the TNT. It is Lucky TNT by Fleshcrafter, and the chiseling part is Chisels and Bits by Algorithm X2. So pretty much with the Chisels and Bits thing, you can place like mini versions of the blocks and then make it like times 10 of what it is in one singular block, which is insane. But unfortunately, this is not vanilla and it is fake. So here we have our debug stick, and now we're gonna try going here. We have to change the water log and then right click, bam. And if we break that underneath, yep, there it goes. As well as that, you can also do it with this. The trapdoor, the slab, the stair, which looks really cursed, the wall, the chain, and many other blocks. Honestly, really cursed, but this does indeed work. Okay, so here we have our lightning rods, and we're just gonna place down our zombie right here. What's up, buddy? Okay, and then we're gonna try and make him go through, which he can't. Now, if I did something like this, where I tried to push him through, yes, that would absolutely work. But it can't go on its own, because it's kind of stupid, to be honest. So zombies follow pathfinding and see the lightning rod as a blocking collision shape, so they don't walk through it. Players can squeeze past because you can control the movement and can slide around the rod's hitbox. So exactly like I said, the only way you would be able to get the zombie through, if you actually tried to hit it through with like knockback or something. But all in all, this does indeed work. So yes, while you can set your render distance to that in Bedrock Edition, in Java, you can't set to 64 chunks. The max is 32 in Java. That's why if you had something like a mod, you could go all the way up to any number you'd like. So right here, I have 1,000 chunks, and I'm using the mod Bobby, and it works really good, as long as you have a good computer. I mean, if your computer can't handle the mod, then your computer might be cooked. But no, this is fake. At least half of it is fake. So I've set my step height here to 3, and we're gonna, what? Wait, hold on. I've never seen that before. That is actually so cool. What? So you can change this number to be infinite. So if you wanted to climb like, I don't know, the Eiffel Tower or whatever, then you can do that in just one step. As long as the Eiffel Tower has a flat shape like this, you know? And if you want to set back to normal, you can set it to 0.6, because that is the normal number and you will jump perfectly fine. But yeah, this is indeed real. So I've actually used this place command before, and as you can see here, we're gonna spawn our thing just up here. As you can see, this is an end ship. I feel like that's pretty explanatory, but this can be done with pretty much any structure. The village, the igloo, literally anything. All you gotta do is replace this part with whatever structure you'd like. And be careful, because you might accidentally overwrite some stuff that you have in your world. Okay, so we have an empty hole right here. We're gonna flip this lever, and the water is in the nether. So /fill directly places the water block by command, instead of you having to use a water bucket. The nether only blocks normal water placement /flow by gameplay, but the commands can still set a block to water anyway. So the command is bypassing the normal nether restrictions, which is you can't place water. Okay, that might be a mod, but we're gonna ignore that. You can't place water in the nether. This is just a mod, but yeah, this is indeed real. That is the most fake video I've ever seen. So, fall damage is its own damage type. So, better armor only helps against hits, arrows, etc. Feather falling and protection are the only things that can reduce fall damage, not armor type. This isn't gonna help you from stopping fall damage. You need feather falling or protection. So, this right here is fake. Okay, so here's our laser door. We're gonna try walking through it. Nope. And then we try to flip the lever and we can walk right through just fine. However, I do see a little flaw with this. You can just crouch to get by. So it's not really useful because you can just do that. I don't know. I mean, it's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is actually a really cool design, but you could just bypass it without having the other person flip a lever to open it. But yeah, this is indeed real. I'd give it a shot, honestly. Maybe this is rage bait, maybe it's not, but obviously you can get out of this sort of thing with water. So you can only swim in water to get out of tight spaces like that. You could technically use trapdoors, but in that sort of situation, it probably wouldn't work as well as water would. But yeah, you can actually get out of there. It's not fake at all. Okay, I've seen this so many times, and I'm just gonna explain it. Obviously, yes, this is gonna connect because it's wood. And then, notice in the name, nether brick fence. That isn't going to connect because it's not the same type. This is wood, this is brick. See this? Whoa. It's not racist, it's not offensive, it's just a wood type. But yeah, that is indeed true.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's gonna be 1.
Okay, so I just want to point out this is not real. I mean, obviously it's not. Like, there's no mechanic that breaks the ground when falling onto it. But you can also see right before he falls down, the floor is actually the same as it was after he falls onto it. So obviously, yeah, scripted video. This isn't how it works at all. Okay, so we have our weird thing. I don't even know what this is. And our item frame right here. It's a map, not an item frame. Thank you very much. And we just have to place these in here. This is a little tedious, but we can do it with a little bit of, I don't even know, strength? Yeah, sure, whatever. Something inspirational. But here it is. And this is so weird. I have done this many times, but it's just still weird to me. Even though I'm kind of used to it, it's still weird. And then you can block yourself in to make the illusion just even weirder than what it is. So placing these here, you can just see it's like you're in one of those insane asylums, and it's so crazy. Like, this will make you go insane. But yeah, that is indeed true. Now I need to get out of here before I actually do go insane. Okay, so we have our little staircase here. We have a mace with, ignore these enchantments, density 5, wind burst 3, and mending 100. So now we're gonna hit the villager. Ooh, that was really close. Okay, but I'm getting this down very nicely, and we landed very nicely as well. So this requires wind burst of the highest level to be achieved and can be done with any entity. I mean, you don't necessarily need wind burst, the highest level. I mean, if you made this shorter and, you know, didn't have it being so spread apart, then yeah, you wouldn't need the highest level. But if you did something like this, then yeah, you would. Adding density will also increase the damage so it kills the entity, which probably don't want to do if you want to reuse them, but it's obviously your decision to make, so do what you will. This is indeed real. Okay, well, this gives me time to actually show off my auto clicker more, which actually breaks my game. We're gonna throw our thing here, do our lava, and this might take a sec. Oh my gosh, we're 7,000 blocks in the air. Oh my gosh. No way. Wait, can we get 10,000? Yes. Oh my gosh, that is insane. Okay, so apparently I was shot like 5,000 blocks away, not even counting the height. But the wind charge effect makes mobs create a wind burst when they die, and that burst launches nearby entities, as you just saw with me. And I'm sure if I increased how many entities could be in one spot, I could go much higher, much farther, and I would be lost. Am I gonna do that? Absolutely not. that was already enough as is. Okay, so I don't know how believable this is gonna be, but if we just put this in here with the item frames and the open fences, you know what? Unless you are willing to go the lengths of creating your own custom map, which even at that would be a little tough because you have all this detail here. So technically this is real, but in the video was a mod. So that's fake, but you can definitely make this in survival. All right, so here's the exact same setup. We're gonna put the villager in bed. Okay, now he's sleeping in the bed. Ignore that the bed's a different color because apparently it's racist toward orange. Now we're gonna place the zombie down and he's not going to the door at all. Okay. Okay, now the zombie is next to the door. We're gonna break this, break that, bam, bam, and wait, hold on. That actually kind of works. Let me just break all this fully so that it's foolproof. Yep, that does indeed work. And if the door is open, he will go after him, which is kind of insane because when I tested this before, it didn't actually work. I pre-test stuff. That's crazy. He just admitted it. If there is an open way around, the zombie will usually go around and attack. It only keeps pushing the door if it still thinks that it is the best path. Zombie pathfinding can be dumb for a moment, but it normally updates. So that right there, the zombie was just dumb or something. I don't even know, but it didn't work for me, and now it does. So I guess this is indeed real. Yeah, so let's just try this out real quick. We're gonna give that, yep, so it just breaks and it doesn't actually drop. So a gold pickaxe is fast, but its mining tier is low. It's not strong enough to harvest a gold block, which needs iron tier or better. So it can hit it, but it will not properly mine it, as you saw there. So that is indeed real. Yeah, so if you throw anything into a cactus, obviously, it's going to break it, because cactus is coded to destroy dropped item entities on contact. It is just a built-in game mechanic. Pretty much a trash can. Like, I mean, what else is to say about it? It's just a trash can that is good for green dye and experience levels. And it's also good for being a trash can. So this is actually a mod, it's not vanilla. This is called Effortless Building, and this mod is for easier building, hence the name Effortless Building. I think it's a really cool mod, but unfortunately it's not vanilla, so this is indeed fake. Okay, I'm not even sure what to think of this, but I'm going to entertain the idea. So we're just gonna give them some bread here. I'm giving them the whole stack, and I'm going to go to bed right here. And we're gonna see what happens in the morning. Okay, so it's morning time now, and nothing. Okay, nothing happened at all. So pillagers can't actually breed with evokers. That is villagers they're thinking of, and they wouldn't even spawn that many. Even villagers don't spawn that many. It's one baby, that's all. Not millions of them. So no, this is not real, and there was obviously a cut where they spawned a lot more and all that. Okay, so here's that exact machine. Magma, lava, and TNT doesn't get pushed down. I've built this thing so many times for so many different things, and it never works. It never works. Look at this. It's just a magma block. It's not doing anything at all. So this is a mod. It's actually called Lucky and TNT. I know. I've mentioned Lucky TNT so much that it's probably gotten me in the search results for Lucky TNT. It's insane. But this is what everyone uses apparently for the YouTube shorts and stuff. So there you go. Also, it's probably not even the method how you even make it. I think it's just in the craft table. Okay, so here we are on Bug Rock. We're gonna place down our thing, move this over, give it oh my gosh, I already see it. I think you also need night vision for this. But yeah, this does work. What the heck? You can see through all the water. That looks so weird. What I like to do here is place down some snow layers so that you can get a better view of this. Look at that. That is so much better. You can see everything down there as well. So yes, this does indeed work. Okay, so here we are. We're going to create our new world, put our seed in here, done, and create new world. We're going to see if this seed is real or fake. Sorry, fake or real. And we are in, and wow. Wait, I actually have to go in creative mode for this. What the heck? Wait, that's actually real. You got the village here with the mesa. You got the ice biome here that's still like right next to the mesa. And then you have a jungle area with a shipwreck. You have a ruined portal. And then you have the jungle temple with as well the desert temple mixed in with these villager houses, and this is insane. Well, and I'll tell you if the loot is worth it. You got Aqua Infinity Golden Apple. You got gold horse armor, some gold. 3 diamonds. Wait, that ain't bad. Okay, this is actually a really cool spawn, dude. And this is a seed that works, but I'm not really sure anyone's playing 1.16.1 anymore. So, you know, if you're playing that version, this is actually a really cool seed to use and have fun. Okay, I'm not even sure what this is supposed to be, but I'm gonna give it a shot here. And you know, this is gonna take a little bit too long for my liking, so I'm just gonna set the tick rate to 10,000. Oh my gosh, that is so loud. Oh my gosh, wait, you just have this now. Look at this. It's just a ball of, I don't even know, wind charges. So then we're gonna load up our crossbow, ignore that I'm eating it, and shoot the target. Are you ready for this? 3, 2, 1, and bam! Oh my gosh. Okay, it's not as high as the chicken one, but that is still pretty high. Nearly got to halfway of what the chicken did, and this is a really, really nice way of transportation, especially if you have an elytra. If you have an elytra, this is a great way to travel. Other than that, you're kind of stuck in the air for a bit, you know? Okay, so I'm out here on the test site. I'm in Bikini Atoll, and we're gonna put our command block in this repeating command block. We're gonna put it always active, repeat, and this should spawn knives. Here we go, baby. Now that is what I'm talking about. This is really cool. This kind of reminds me of, you know, that Roblox, when you finish obbies, you get these path things, and you get to just fly around the map with them. But this is really cool, and it does indeed work. However, it's a little tedious if you're gonna go and try to turn it off. Well, maybe not really, because you can just walk into that like that, and then it breaks. So there you go. Okay, there are some things here I can say are correct, but some things here I can't say are. So Jeb, Dinnerbone, Grum, and Toast are legit. The other ones are not, very clearly. So I couldn't find the Panda one, but I could find the other two. Villager Tank by
Okanishnik
and Technoblade Tribute by Duquette. Okay, so I've seen versions of these before, but nothing like this. I think probably I have, but I've never used it. I've always used the other one. But here we go. We're going to try it out. And this one did go a little bit faster than this one. I'm sure if the track was a little bit further than what it is now, it would be way ahead. So I'm going to call that real. Okay, so I'm going to spawn a bunch of these right here, and I'm going to go over here and see if they actually walk over. They do indeed walk over. And these guys are completely stupid because they're dead. So zombies pathfind as if the open trapdoor is still a safe block. So they try to walk over it instead of avoiding it. And since an open trapdoor still has a small hitbox, they sometimes cross it. And when I say sometimes, I mean 90% of the time. The other 10% of the time is if they're trying to go the other way, like this way, and trying to get you from the wall. Like, that's not going to do anything, zombie. You got to go through and accept your fate. You're going to die anyway. I have never seen this before, but I have this set up here, the green shulker boxes and the red shulker box. We're gonna break this. I've seen someone do this. Go in here, go in the corner, and whoa, wait, that is a weird optical illusion because it looks like this is the biggest one in the middle, while these two are small. So from your camera angle, those differences line up. So red covers the more of your view, while the green ones shrink in the distance. Your brain reads them as similar position, different size. So it feels like the red box is bigger, even though they are all the same size. As you can see here, this breaks the illusion hard, but you go back here and it looks massive. And you know what else is massive? Okay, boring old ladder here, dude. Who wants this? You get rid of this, man. Come on. We need our brand new, spanking new, invisible item frame ladder thingy. Yeah, that works. So we got our things here, and I did actually get a PNG of these ladders. Obviously, this is a mod, so I'm just gonna say it's fake, but we're gonna try it anyway to see if it fools me. You know what? You put this next to a regular ladder, and I would fall for this. I would genuinely fall for this. Obviously, you can't climb up it, but unfortunately, this is not real. You can't make PNGs of images in Minecraft, even if you have a regular map. Yo, what up, Dream? So this, again, Lucky TNT by Fleshcrafter and Chisel and Bits by Algorithm X2. And this is obviously not what they used in the video. This was a build of Dream out of the ×20 TNT blocks from the Lucky TNT mod, partnered with the Chisel and Bits mod to make it look really detailed, I guess you could say. But no, this is obviously not real. Alright, so here's our flint and steel here, and we have 2 portals to test out. We're not going to waste any more time here because this is obviously fake. The mod is actually shapeless portals. You know, if there was something like this in the game, I feel like we wouldn't really be seeing the OG portal styles we always see nowadays, so... Okay, so I'm going to spawn this Enderman right here and press the button. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Wait, they actually made him go in the water. Hold on. It's possible to make him die. It's possible. But he's just too fast, bro. He's pulling the Matrix moves right now. So Enderman can dodge projectiles by teleporting. And even if a snowball hits, it doesn't do damage. So the golems throw at him, but he still does not get hurt by the snowballs. Except if he's hit in the water, then that's when he can take damage. But golems directly can't do damage to him. And please note, this is only for Bedrock. I wasn't paying attention and I was trying for like 10 minutes to make this work in Java. Please be warned. Okay, again, not vanilla. This is a mod. It's called Lucky TNT by Fleshcrafter. Now, let's move on. Okay, so some people freaking out saying that, oh, this is Herobrine, this is Herobrine, this is Herobrine. That is technically not wrong, because if you look at the feet texture, you'll see that this has mostly flat textures, but while the zombie actually has a little bit of detail put in. Now, obviously, Herobrine is not real. This was either a player sitting there in the actual farming machine, or it was a mod called Fear the Fog, which does indeed add Herobrine. So this right here is fake. Herobrine does not exist in Minecraft, even though Mojang keeps saying that they removed Herobrine from Minecraft. Okay, so here is our command. We just have this set up here, and we're gonna spot. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna put a wait, can you? Wait, that's funny. Okay, I put a saddle on. I'm gonna try this out. Oh my gosh. We are slowly but surely going, dude. This is so funny. Oh my gosh. And you're telling me I could just hit it like this? As if it's literally the moon? Dude, that is so fire. I don't see any practical use for this unless it was for like some map or something. Oh, I just killed him. But honestly, pretty fun to play with like a little pig pinata, honestly. But yes, this is indeed real and can be done with any mob. Okay, so we have our command right here. I set it to 50 so that we didn't have to worry about it. But now we have to, oh my gosh. Whoa, you can literally see everything, dude. This is much better than the base set. And speaking of base set, if you want to set it back, all you have to do is set it back to 4, boom, and then click again and it'll be back to normal. And just a FYI, this only works in versions higher than 1.21.6 Java edition. I am not aware whether it works in Bedrock or not, but I know it works in Java edition. Okay, so we have the exact command in here. We're gonna flip this lever, give it to ourselves, and if we do this, whoa, hold on, so I can just stand all the way back here and do that? Can I flip the lever? No, I can't. I can hit mobs though. I absolutely can do that, but I can't break or anything like that. So you can interact with mobs, armor stands, my cards, pretty much any entity from much further away than normal. However, it changes entity reach, not block reach. So even though you can see, like you can hit, you can interact with all these entities and whatever, you can't actually interact with blocks or hit these blocks, unfortunately, but still pretty cool. Okay, so I already built it here. All we have to do is get in the minecart and break this. Here we go. Yes. Oh my gosh, we are bombing now, baby. This is crazy, and you could just pull so many pranks with this. So yes, this does indeed work. Okay, I'll entertain it, but we're gonna spawn like 100,000 chickens in here. We're gonna block that up. Bam. We're gonna bone meal it to speed up the process, and there is no chicken tree at all. The only trees that can grow in Minecraft are regular trees, like this. Regular oak trees, spruce trees, dark oak trees, etc. What was there was it either an add-on or it was a cut, built the tree, and then cut again to the normal video. So that is indeed fake. Time to die, chickens. Your demise is here. Oh my gosh, that was loud. So if we take a debug stick, obviously, yes, the snow block does exist. I don't even know if you call this a snow block because it's so cursed. But if you took a command, you could also switch it to a snow block. But when it comes to spawning naturally in the world, it doesn't. It just doesn't. So obviously this isn't real, but can be done with commands. If you'd like to take a look at this command and copy it, you may do so. Okay, so our sunflowers are down here. We're gonna place some carpets above and spawn a bunch of zombies. So let's see if they come after me or if they just go over to the side, honestly. And oh my gosh, they're getting a little jiggy with it there. They might actually get through and kill me though. Okay, so no, they can't actually get in because obviously carpet. Maybe the zombie can, okay, maybe the baby zombie can, but not the bigger ones. So obviously, yeah, this does actually work. And this is because the zombie sees it as a bad/blocked path. So instead of cleanly walking over it, it keeps recalculating and spinning around. That's why they spin around, obviously. But yeah, that is indeed true. I wouldn't use it for defense though, so you know. People with epilepsy, please look away. Skip to whatever this timestamp is on the screen, and I will be out of whatever this is that can break people's eyes. So here we have a bunch of stuff. Once again, I've done this before, except now we have brighter blocks to make it look even weirder. So we're gonna put these in the item frame, and oh my gosh. Okay, now that looks like TV static. Whoa. It looks more like a computer screen up close, but that is such a weird feature that I don't know why works, but just does. So yes, that indeed works. You may look back, epileptic people. Is that the right term? I have no clue. Do not take offense to that if that's actually the wrong term. So unfortunately, this is another stupid YouTube Shorts thing, but the pick at the end was obviously a mod. It's called Remorphed by 2Craft. However, if you were wanting to do this in vanilla, we're gonna give ourselves invisibility. If we can catch this bottle, there we go. And then we're gonna use this little command that teleports this pig right to me, and it can look in certain directions that I look. In my opinion, this method is a little jank, so it won't look supernatural as the mod does. So, you know, and obviously we're kind of moving, but that's because the pig is teleporting to me and pushing me at the same time. So that's why I say it's a little jank. It's obviously not what they used, but obviously what was used in the video was a mod, so fake. Except this method is real, so there you go. Okay, so here we have some golden apples, right? We get our hearts, yes, and then we save and quit, leave the game, then join back again. We're gonna see what happens here. I'm gonna do no cuts. Here it is, bam. We did, what is that, ×3? And then we'll leave again. I believe that's what they did. Rejoin, again, no cuts. I'm gonna keep talking so that it doesn't seem like it's cheating or whatever. And see that right there? That multiplied, and that is indeed real. I don't know why this version is like this, but it just is, and I think this is a really cool bug that Mojang hasn't patched yet. Use it while you can. Only Bedrock, by the way. So I've seen this many times before, and we've done this many times before. This is actually a data pack called Weird Features by Mick Mackenstein. And why are you looking at me, pig? I already dealt with you earlier. But no, this is not real. It is a data pack, and I would honestly recommend using it because it's actually really cool with the amount of weird features that are in it. Say that again. Just another day in the war. Nothing's gonna happen to me at all. Okay, wait, why is this working? Oh my gosh, that scared the... Oh, okay, not funny. That actually scared me so bad. I thought it was broken. Are you kidding me? Ah, man, that scared me so bad. So stepping on the carpet still activates the redstone ore underneath, making it light up. That is a block state change. So the observer detects it and turns it on. And unfortunately, it turned it on at a random point and scared the bejesus out of me. So yes, real, but I'd be aware that it might have a slight delay to it.
This Minecraft trick will blow your mind.
Okay, here's the staircase with the chest, the slab, the glass pane, the bell, the cake, and the trapdoor. Now we're gonna run up it and see if it, oh my gosh, that actually works. And it is definitely a lot more efficient than a regular stair. So those blocks have weird thin hitboxes. When you run into the step, Minecraft's collision pushes you up to the next safe spot instantly, instead of making you walk up every single step, so you climb way faster. But yes, this is real. Okay, while I can say there are no baby creepers in Minecraft, this is definitely real right here. And then we'll have that down there, set them off, and theoretically it should drop the creeper head, which it did indeed. Creeper head secured. A creeper's explosion has a special rule that if a mob gets killed by it, then it drops its head. So when your creeper blows up and kills the other mobs, they drop their heads. So if we click F3 and B, yes, you can see that hitboxes are around every mob, every entity, including the item frame, and pretty much every mob. And you can also change this in the settings to whatever you want it to be. F3 and F4 is what I use all the time. You hold down F3 and then you press F4 to switch through whatever you want. So you can go in survival, you can go in adventure mode, you can go in spectator mode, or you can go back in creative, which I just was in. Again, this is configurable as well. Okay, so I have a little cobblestone generator right here. We're gonna mine a little bit and press F3 and T. I'm gonna let go, and my hands are off the keyboard. I'm gonna clap, and you can see that does indeed work. Obviously, until you click again, or if you press like an escape button or whatever. So F3 and T reloads resources and temporarily grabs your input. So if you were holding left click during the reload, Minecraft can come back thinking the mouse button is still being held down. So it keeps mining until you click again. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but it does work. So F3 and G to show borders. Yes, this does indeed work, and it looks really weird from up here. And this is also configurable. Okay, so F3 and X is not an actual keybind. It is made up, and a resource pack was used for the X-ray, which I do not, let me put some more emphasis on it, I do not condone X-ray resource packs because that can get you banned on certain servers, and it is cheating. Yeah, it's pretty much just cheating, and you shouldn't use it. Mine those ores like a man. Go strip mining like a man. So F3 and H, we're gonna press F3 and H, and we are in spectator mode. We press F3 and H again, and we'll be put back in creative mode, or whatever mode you were in prior to pressing the F3 and H button. And this is also configurable. Okay, so F3 and C. Yes, copy to clipboard. You can see right here, we can paste our coordinates in here. It just has an execute command to TP you to that location. And a little thing, if you hold it for 10 seconds, which I'm going to do now, it'll crash purposely to create a crash report, obviously. And you can see in the bottom left, it's going to crash. And I'm going to let go of it last second so that it doesn't actually crash my game. But yes, that is a fun little thing that you can do if you want to do it. And also, this is configurable. Okay, so F3 and escape. There we go. We got a game pause menu, and ignore the start recording thing. That's from my mod replay mod. But it pauses the game without opening the pause menu. And it is pretty useful for screenshots. Just go in F1 and then you got that. Obviously without this mod, that puts this stuff there. And other than that, this is also configurable. Yes, this is real. Okay, so I got a little trap set up here. I'm gonna place the creeper in there, and he can't get out because he can't jump over trapdoors. And then glass, we're gonna put that there, and he is in. He is in. I didn't mean spawn another one. Slap it up there, and bam. We got a pet creeper right here. And if we go in survival, go near him, he can't actually blow up. And the reason they don't blow up is because creepers need a clear line of sight from their eyes to you. The glass block is on their head, so it blocks their vision check. And they don't start a fuse even if you are that close. So yes, creeper pet confirmed. Here's a 3x3 here. If we place this on here, give it a second, it activates, even without a pyramid. So normally, a beacon doesn't need a 3x3 top. It checks for valid pyramid layers underneath. It is bigger, but as long as there is at least a complete 3x3 under the beacon, then it'll work. So it's not really a biggie. I mean, it's just kind of looks-wise that they're probably worried about, but no, for functionality, it still works like that. Okay, so we're in Bedrock Edition. I have my armor stand here. We're gonna readjust it so it's like this. Give it the glass, night vision, and I like putting some snow layers on so you can actually see better. And look at that. You can literally see everything through the ground. You can see the coal, you can see the gravel, you can see the seaweed. It is amazing. So Bedrock has a transparency rendering bug. Ice/water and a glass pane are both see-through, and the game draws them in the wrong order. So the pane looks like it disappeared when viewing. And it gets even weirder because this also works with glass blocks. I don't know when they're gonna patch it, but use this while you can because it is amazing and cool. That was indeed not a pillager, but this is great because now I can use my auto clicker here and hopefully not lag my game very badly. Okay, starting lag. All right, so that's 1,000 right there. Now we're gonna break this anvil and see it. Oh my gosh, that was so loud and so weird. They all die on the same tick. So the death particles / effects stack in one spot and make that big red burst. I could honestly increase how much I could put in here, but that would break my computer. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go again. Round 2. Let's see if this glitches my game so badly. Okay, the anvil's actually stuck in the air. This might take a second. I have faith. Oh my gosh! Okay, so we got that same exact trap. Now we're gonna spawn a bunch of bunnies around here, and I wanna see if they actually go in or not. To speed this process up, I am going to set the tick rate to 5,000. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they're eating the carrots. They're actually eating the carrots. What? And they actually can't get out either because the trapdoors actually stopped them. Never mind, that one just got out. And this works because rabbits have a built-in AI that treats carrot crops as food. They pathfind to planted carrots, nibble them down a growth stage, and can even pull one up when it's mature, as you saw there. So here we have our debug stick. We're gonna shift right click, and I just broke the thing. That actually is working for the fence. Now the ladder, that is so cursed. Okay, what else can I do here? Ooh, look at that. And you can climb up it too. And then the door. Oh, this is like one of those doors that like is split in half. Okay, maybe this isn't real. Okay, yeah, so this works. It's basically a block state editor. It lets you cycle and change hidden properties on blocks, like facing half, hinge, open, shape, axis, lit, waterlogged, etc. People use it to test mechanics, fix orientation fast, and make weird builds without altering blocks. Okay, this is actually a mod. It's called Effortless Building by Requios. That's pretty simple. You right click with whatever block you have in your hand to another place, and then it places wherever you have it selected. That's pretty much it. So obviously the problem here is that this frame right here is actually sideways, making it so that it doesn't actually light the portal. And then there was a wood piece right here. Now, obviously, this isn't how it works. This isn't real. But this video was based off of a Minecraft series about a kid named Simon, who seems to be haunted by an alternate version of Herobrine. Now, I'm not going to give any more spoilers than that. You just need to look it up. Simon 12 incident. Go give it a watch. It's pretty entertaining. So I'm not going to bother with this. We've done it before. You cannot push water into the nether in any version of Minecraft. That's just not a thing. This can either be done by using a mod, or you can use the /fill command, which I believe is in Bedrock Edition, is 100% Java, but this is obviously fake. So in Bug Rock, you can't eat any item you please. This is an add-on. It's called Eatable Items by Flappy Guy. And with this add-on, you can pretty much just eat anything. However, there's an exception for Java. I know this sounds crazy, but if I give myself a diamond, we're just gonna go ahead and eat it. So this is a literal command you can actually use. You can go ahead and look at it. Maybe I'll put it on screen, maybe I won't. But use this command, change this part to whatever you want. You can change to acacia boat if you want to eat an acacia boat. Yep, so that is indeed true. Well, the command is. This video is obviously fake. Okay, so here I am in a village, and here's the tree that they were talking about. If we break this, it doesn't... Okay, there's no wood underneath here at all. There's just stone and all that junk. So obviously that was all pre-planted for the video, and you can't actually mine bedrock either. You have to have a mod for that. Okay, so here we have our little thing right here. It doesn't even match, man. It's so light, but yeah, you can technically do that. But this is definitely possible in survival Minecraft if you want to go through, you know, making all the map art. What was used in the video was a mod, but this is definitely possible in vanilla. Okay, so I have these two set up down here, and we're gonna go for the water because that's the safest choice, right? Wrong. I'm dead. And maybe ignore the fact that I was going toward water and then it cut to lava. Look, man, I put them in the wrong area. It's fine. But again, this is a mod, but can definitely be done in vanilla Minecraft. So I see what was trying to be done here. Obviously, they were trying to use the leash, pull the chickens off because they thought they would fly. Nope, they can't. So flying with chickens is indeed not possible unless you use something like Chickens Do Fly by Renthi, and that is a mod as well. You could technically use commands if you were holding an item, but other than that, this isn't vanilla Minecraft and is fake. So buckets don't spawn in igloos. And second off, igloos don't even spawn in the plains biome. Even if there was a glitch, that's just straight up in the plains biome. Then maces don't naturally spawn in structures. You're not going to find it in a chest or anywhere else. You have to create it with a windburst rod and a core. Then vases don't contain blaze powder. Buckets don't one-shot any mobs unless enchanted with commands, which clearly it wasn't, so probably just strength or something. And then wind charges don't send you that high into the air. At max, it's probably like 15 blocks. So completely fake video. So as you can see, this is a Minecraft creeper. As you see over here, this is a player with a Minecraft creeper skin. And this is a scripted video because creepers don't have a human body. This is not what creepers look like at all. This is what creepers look like. The weird, I don't even know how to describe this, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna build this right here, right now. First, we'll start off with the water. Place down our water here. Now, switches to soul sand. Snow, snow, snow. The snow disappears after you place it. And then, after you get all that done, pour your water on. Stone again. And the bubbles stay. If this actually works, I will be, whoa, that is so weird. This is pretty much just invisible water, except the bubbles are just straight up still visible. Kind of unfortunate that this is only Bug Rock Edition though. Okay, again, you can't push water into the nether. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. And sure as heck can't do it on bedrock either. This is fake. Okay, so we have our little setup here, and we're gonna change the minecart speed to 1000 because we need it as high as we can get it. Now, we're gonna activate this. This is a little crazy, but he's gonna go Mach 1. And if we set up the tick rate to like 10,000 or something, he'll be like going super speed. Yep, there he goes. Okay, wait. Then we'll set it back to normal, and he's still going extremely fast. It's glitching too. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna hit this lever, and we have to watch it go flying. There it goes. There it goes. It's just gone. Oh, wait, we can catch it in the air. There he is. But the real question is, does he actually survive? I feel like maybe he would. So please keep note, this only works with minecart improvements enabled, and that has to be on before you create the world. Or if you're like smart with Minecraft files, you can enable it afterwards in files and level data and stuff. And then here, we can set the normal speed back to 8, which is the default for this. And the max is 1000, which is what I set it to before. But yes, this is indeed real. Again, yes, we did test this before. Ice/water plus glass pane renders wrong, so they look invisible. So yes, this is real, in Bedrock Edition. Okay, so here's a side-by-side real, and here's the fake image one. Now, I will say, this is with mod, but can definitely be done in survival Minecraft. Possible via fingers and a brain. And the side effects will be carpal tunnel and a headache. So yes, this is real. Ah, the floating portal, classic. So the game could not find a safe spot at the exact link chords, so it placed you to the nearest valid portal location, which is in the air. And this is on rare occasions for this to happen, so don't expect it every time, but on the off chance it does actually happen, it is so weird. Okay, so we're loading into the world, and we are here. You don't actually spawn here. I loaded it beforehand, but if we go in here, this is the exact one. It's kind of messed up already, and you can see this is indeed broke. There's no portal here at all. It's just one portal. So this seed does work and is an uncommon occurrence. As you can see here, it's actually happened to many other seeds, and that is just a generation error, but I would feel bad for someone if they actually spent all that time in a world and then just found out that their end portal is just this. That would be so sad. Okay, so mannequin command, we're going to try and use it here, and we can spawn one successfully. Now, you can see that this one does actually have a custom skin, and that's because I used coordinates. I did rotation, I did profile. That's the one part where you're going to be able to put in anyone's name. You can put in Technoblade, you can put in Quackity, you can literally use anyone's name, and their skin will show up onto that mannequin. Let's say that person you put in doesn't actually have a skin. Well, it's going to show up as either Steve, Alex, or the other skins that they have on the stinking skins page on Minecraft. But yes, that does indeed work. Okay, so here's a command right here. We're gonna summon this guy, and if we go in survival mode, oh my gosh, he's just massive. Okay, wow, I'm gonna kill him because something actually happens. The command summons a creeper with a long fuse. If it starts exploding, it will wait 1,000 ticks before it blows up. That's around 50 seconds, by the way. So it's not always gonna be all fat like that, you know? I'm gonna move him over here. We're gonna wait 50 seconds here. Or we don't have to wait 50 seconds, and we can set this to tick rate to 1,000, and it should blow up anytime now. And there it goes. Yep, so long story short, be careful. Okay, so I have the attribute command set in here. We're gonna flip the lever, and I'm gonna try breaking stuff. Oh, wow. Huh? Wait, can I break all the way up there? Okay, probably not that far, but like, this is pretty far right here. Wow. So you can place, break, and interact with blocks from extremely far away. That's pretty much what this command does, and if you wanna set it back, you can set it to 4.5, and you'll be back to normal. Okay, I did showcase this a little bit at the start with the creakings, but we can set our max entity cramming to 10,000 here, and with that auto clicker again, we're gonna go ahead and spawn as many of these guys as we can. Probably not 10,000, but as you can see there, it is just a mess in here. Just look at that. I don't like the noise either. That's terrible. I'm gonna set on fire. And oh, that just pushed me away. What the heck? Yeah, but they all dead now. The default is 24, and the max is whatever that number is. And a little fact with this number is that this number is the maximum 32-bit signed integer 2 to the 31st power minus 1. Minecraft stores many game rule numbers as 32-bit integers, so that is the biggest value it can accept. A little fun fact there, but it is true. Obviously, yeah, it's a mod, but coal veins can be huge, so Vein Miner tries to break a ton of blocks at once. That spawns tons of items and XP orbs and block update calculations, which can tank FPS for a bit, or it might just crash the entirety of your game. So when using Vein Miner, please be aware of this coal block, because it could lead to another 1,000 coal blocks that is hiding underneath it. Okay, so here we have our signs. Now, yes, I'm gonna type in something like this and we get an emoji on the sign. And if we do something like, oh, let's say a crafting table because I wanna see it on my sign. Look at that. And heck, if you ever wanted to see a furnace on your sign, well, look no further. This is nice. And I wish they had this in Java because it's actually so cool. And I'll probably leave the rest of the emojis you can do on screen. I am not building that. I will not waste my time with that. You can't breed with iron golems with a machine that is getting jiggy with it, we'll say. Villagers can breed, but not iron golems. Okay, so we have a chicken trapped in a little cage here. And if we run this little command right here, bam, we're gonna run it and I'm gonna hit the chicken and see what he does. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. And he's gone. Oh, no. Hi, chicken. Okay, he's gone again. He's literally the Flash, dude. So with this command, you're changing his movement speed to 2. And I know 2 may not seem like much, but that's a pretty fast number because I'm pretty sure that's about, what, 10 times faster than what he normally goes? Again, here's that command. I don't know why this would be useful in any way, but I guess a lot of people have random uses for random things, so. Okay, so obviously that I'm not doing all that because it's not actually real. Orange portals aren't real, but they can be changed by using a resource pack that changes them to orange colored portals. And the way this was done for the portals is they did use the fill command for this. So this is obviously fake. Okay, so what was used in the video was actually a mod called Chisel Me. Instead of doing that, we're gonna have our own command here using the attribute command scale base set 0.01.
So we're gonna make me small and okay, I'm tiny. And I'm gonna try see if I can fit. Oh my gosh, I did it. Cause you can literally walk through every single player, bro. I kind of moved her, but that's okay. I'll move you back here. There you go. You can go big or go small with this attribute command. And I believe the default number for this is 1. So if you set that to 1,
you'll be able to go back to big. Nice. But if you set it to somewhere like 10,
You will be massive. Oh my gosh. I am literally a giant dude. And now I can't actually reach the thing. So
the video's fake, but the command is definitely real.
This secret Minecraft trick will blow your mind.
Okay, so this right here is actually a mod. It's called Katamario by TacoWasa59. And pretty much a Katamari ball is a big rolling ball from the game that picks up objects and gets bigger and bigger. Okay, so we're loading up a world with the mod and we're gonna see what this thing looks like. Oh my gosh, I'm loading it. Oh, look at this. Dude, you could probably beat Minecraft with this. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so I already put down the invisible item frames here in the glass, you can see. And now we have our custom map art right here, which I did get from a website, so it's not like perfect. But if we take a look here, I mean, you'd have to be really stupid to fall for this. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I guess it kind of blends in, but it's not super good. But we're gonna test it out. We're gonna go down here, and yeah, you can see through it all and actually go through it. Yeah, this does indeed work. Okay, this is one of the stranger ones, but if we put the lava up there, Spongear's already down, and now all we have to do is do this, and the lava actually fills up the cauldron, which is so strange, actually. So the sponge removes the flowing water around the cauldron, but not the distant source block, which is this right here. For a moment, the game sees the cauldron as not blocked by water, so the dripstone setup is allowed to fill it with lava. It is currently an unpatched bug, but I'm sure soon enough it'll be patched, because what in the world is this, man? Okay, so I'll teleport myself super high and I'll shift and you survive from that high, which is insane. And if we do it without shifting, you will bounce as normal and then you shift when you get down. Bam. Slime blocks are made to absorb your fall. Normally they make you bounce instead of take damage, but if you hold shift, it cancels the bounce part while still keeping the no fall damage part. But yes, real. Alright, so we're loading into the seed right now, and I'm gonna see, yes, okay, wait, we're underwater? Where's the igloo? There's the igloo! Oh my god, and the diamond. Let's take a look in here. This is the most important part. Okay, it's filled with water, obviously. But if we break down here somewhere, it should lead to under the world. What is this, dude? I didn't think you could actually do this, but somehow Bedrock actually managed to do it. And no, I didn't actually spawn here. I put myself here, but if you follow those coordinates, then you'll be able to come here. And just so you know, it is very far down, so you might see some glow squids. Also, there's a mansion right above this. All right, so I have this little contraption here behind, and all we're gonna do here is just shoot the arrow in the corner, and it does activate it. But while doing that, you have to be really fast to get in, or else it'll shut on you. So the arrow's hitbox can reach through the corner enough to touch the plate, even if the blocks make it look like it's covered. So you can just have a secret little base to hide in when there's someone chasing you. Just shoot your arrow, run in, and then the people chasing you will have no idea where you went. Okay, I'm gonna show you a little something. This is gonna blow your mind, but whoa, we're in the nether now, and I can sleep. Let's just grab this bed, and we're gonna go to the nether real quick. Hello, nether, and I'm going to just test this right now. Bam, your bed explodes. Sleeping in the nether does not work. That was in the overworld and was made to look like it was actually in the nether, which it really wasn't. Alright, so we'll go ahead and place these saplings down. I don't think the order matters, but we're just going to put it in that order anyway. And if we do it, nothing happens at all. You can see all the end portals are in the correct place, and even though I put them all in, nothing happened. So end portals in Bedrock cannot destroy blocks in the middle. Okay, so I actually have a tower of these stinking armor stands, and we're gonna break all these blocks and make them go into one. Those cursed already. Now, if I remember right, bam, bam, redstone goes there, there, and the redstone torch. I put the things in the wrong place. Now it should work. There we go. That is actually super trippy. I don't know, that just doesn't look right. So redstone could trigger an armor stand to switch poses. So instead of powering it like a normal block, the redstone just makes a cycle to the next pose, which is what you saw there. It just cycles to the next pose, and it continues to do that as this is repeating it. Okay, so I already hooked up the slime with the hive in it to the boat. Now we just need to spawn a pig, put a saddle on it, and put it in the boat. We'll hop on, and then I'll hit the thing, and it's not working. And yes, I am in the preview version. This just isn't working at all. I'm pretty sure right after people started doing these videos, and they started realizing, oh, there's a glitch. A fun one at that. We can't have that. So they literally patched it immediately. So unfortunately, they caught it pretty early and patched the bug, unfortunately. So I do have to deem this fake, but it was fun for the time that it existed. Okay, so we got the mushroom here. We're gonna put the bedrock on top and bone meal that thing, and it goes right through. So the fungus can still grow even when the bedrock is above it. It just generates the parts it can and cuts off that one part that is being blocked by bedrock. So if you delete the bedrock here and then you have the thing there, it'll be replaced and it'll actually grow the full tree rather than skipping one block because of something blocking it. So if we do /game rule fall damage, we can actually do false. So I'm gonna go in survival, and then I'm gonna try and fall, and I take no damage at all. That unintentionally rhymed. So the game rule command for fall damage can disable and enable fall damage in any dimension. So say I add this and go true, and we're gonna flip the lever here, and I take damage, quite a bit of it too. And then again, set it to false, and no damage is taken. So yes, this is indeed real. So we'll set our tick rate to 1, and I am incredibly slow. My fingers are on the W key, and I am barely going anywhere. So then if I just click that lever, it's taking a second, and we're gonna go flying in the air, and it looks like I'm just flying, but I'm slowly but surely making a descent. And the F5 also bugs out, so it just looks like you're looking the other way, when in reality, it's just super slow. So /tick rate 1 will slow down the game 20 times more, and that is not something you want, because it pretty much makes the game unplayable. And the default for this is 20 so that you can set it back. We're gonna go ahead and go to the nether here, and we have this command here that is going to spawn a boat with apparently no gravity. Look at this thing, and we are going. We're just flying above the striders, and better yet, we're flying by the piglins, which they can't attack me because first off, I'm in creative, and also I'm in a flying boat. So the MPT data part from the command is what tells the boat to ignore gravity. So once it spawns, it stays floating instead of falling. And this goes for any entity. You could change it from a boat to a pig to a sheep. Literally anything. If it's breathing, if it's moving, get it? Because cow, moo, I'm sorry. Then you can actually do it. So there you go. So we have a thing right here. This is going to set our scale to 10, which will make us massive. Look at me, baby. I am massive. And we can go in here, set the scale, base, set, and I believe it is just 1. Yes, it is just 1. So this command sets the player scale attribute to 10, which makes them 10 times their normal size, which you just saw there. I was literally the green giant from the can. So in this command block, we have this little command right here that we're going to run, and it is going to give us a fortune 255 pickaxe. Now we're going to go in survival mode and see if this actually does drop. Oh my, that's 4 stacks of diamonds. Okay, this is overkill. The item data is the part that adds fortune and sets it to 255, which as you can see here, 255, and this is the MBT tag. Enchantments equals fortune 255. And you can change this enchantment to something like sharpness, we're going to say, and I believe this should give it to the pickaxe. You might even be able to do, hold on, you might even be able to do a water bucket. You have a sharpness 255 water bucket. I'm not sure what in the world that would be used for, but it's kind of funny. Okay, I'll entertain it. We'll put the lava down. Powdered snow, push it down. Okay, it's setting the thing on fire. Glass, and it doesn't go down. Okay, the only way you'd be able to do that is if you destroyed that. Bam, push that. Oh my gosh, it went down. Push it again. There you go. And I'll entertain it. Whoa, if I break this, I get my x-ray block. No, I don't. There's no x-ray block. So if you remember from earlier, we have the tick rate, which slows down the game. And in this recording, that same exact thing was used. It is extremely slow. Probably not 1, I'd say probably like 2 or 3, but that was obviously tick rate changed. So this is indeed a fake speedrun. Speedrun? Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead here and I'm gonna try putting the diamond block in. It doesn't let me. Okay, it doesn't let me put it in. It wouldn't matter anyway. Netherite's like one of the most useless blocks slash minerals in the game, because after you make netherite armor, you can't do anything else with it. And then you saw the crafting with the flesh and the diamond. You can't do that without mods. And unfortunately, I couldn't find any mods like that. So I took it as a sign to create my own. Voila! 9 rotten flesh crafts a diamond. I did put this on Modrinth so you guys can download it. And just so to prove that it actually works, there you go. You got a diamond right there. But yeah, this is obviously fake. This is obviously just a different material. This is wood. Obviously, connects great. And then you got brick. That doesn't connect. It doesn't connect because it's not the same. It's not the same material. It's just a different material, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to type in tick freeze here, and this is like my first time ever using this. So we're going to go ahead. Ticks are frozen, and now I'm going to try. Oh, he's just frozen. Okay, so if I just punch him a bunch of times. Okay, hold on. Punch, punch, this dog, punch. Now I am going to unfreeze, which works like that. Oh, there it goes. So the command freezes almost all game ticking. Redstone updates, mob AI / movement, fluids, block updates, and day and night cycles. Players are not frozen, and anything a player is writing is not frozen either. But yeah, this is real. Okay, we have our test subject here. We're gonna activate this. And obviously, you're gonna see normal speed, right? I'm following him pretty good. Now, this command will speed it up 100-fold. So just give it a second, and he is off to the races. I cannot follow that for the life of me. He is super, super fast. And if you want to set it back, you set it to 8, because that is the default, and he's normal again. There you go. In this command block, we have this command, which should give me a consumable sword. And there it is. Man, what a cursed thing. This gives you a sword with a consumable component added. That makes it act like food instead of being a normal weapon. And as well as eating a sword, you could even change it to like oak planks. So we're gonna give ourselves it, and we can successfully eat it. But yeah, this does work. So we're going to teleport to a village with a blacksmith. Hey buddy, what's going on? We got normal stuff, right? The iron, the chests. However, it is said that apparently Mojang puts diamonds up here, which is not real at all. There's no diamonds. It's just an empty little attic area. But yeah, that's obviously fake. So that illusion that they were doing obviously is real and isn't complex at all. Now, what is complex about this video is that there's beeping, right? There's beeping in the video. And if you loop it, you'll hear the tone slowly shift downward and downward and downward. And I'm going to explain that. A shepherd tone is a sound illusion made by stacking multiple tones an octave apart and fading some in while others fade out. That tricks your brain into hearing the pitch as if it keeps going down or up forever, even though the sound is looping. The step version is called a shepherd scale, and the smooth sliding version is often called a shepherd risset glissando. And here's a little example of it. And if that just loops forever and ever, then it'll get deeper or higher or whatever way it's going. But yes, that is indeed real.
The spear is the only item in the history of Minecraft that you can't break a block with.
Okay, right. This doesn't break the block. Yes. However, diamond sword, that very clearly can't break the block either. I mean, I'm holding my thing down. It's not working. And if we do the trident, that also doesn't break it at all. While a spear can't break blocks, the sword and the trident can't either. At least in creative mode. See, that's the one part. If you go in survival and you try breaking it with the sword, it's obviously going to break, as well as the trident. But if you go here and try to break it with the spear, it doesn't actually break. But it wasn't really specified which mode you had to be in or which mode it was in, so obviously this is a fake assessment. But yes, they do break in survival, so like, you know, there's that. Okay, so I tried this before, it didn't work, and I believe I did something wrong there. So now we're gonna try again with the evoker, changing the thing, and I think it is actually doing it this time. There we go. Okay, it was a command that didn't let me do last time for some reason, but in AoE, the priests say wololol and convert any enemy units from blue to red. And Minecraft copied the idea with evokers turning blue sheep red. So a little Age of Empire reference there. Honestly, I have no clue what that game is, and I think it's pretty cool. Alright, so here I have the same exact setup. We'll put our armor in here and the skeleton right there. And if I flip this lever, it's going to put it on. This is definitely possible in Bedrock. Unfortunately, in Java, this is not possible for some weird reason. I have no clue why you wouldn't be able to do this at all. But of course, if there's armor laying on the ground, then they could just come pick it up. But you can't put it on manually, which is weird. Okay, so here's a little hole I made, and we're gonna put our TNT down, sand, pressure plate, and we're drop on it, and you go down instantly, and you literally are going to die no matter what. So to prevent any literal damage, like I literally just did down there, place a dripstone at the bottom, because that'll immediately kill the player as long as it's that far down. And a little fun fact, I was actually the first one to do that video concept. I thought it was pretty cool to see other people do it and take it and use it as they, you know, want to use it. But anyway, that is indeed true. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and shut this whole thing down. You can't actually craft nether gold ore in any version of Minecraft. You know, I hated breaking that to you, but I'm sorry. You can't have infinite gold in Minecraft. There's not much you could do with gold anyway, so fake. Alright, so we're going to teleport to the nether, and we're here. Now, if I try placing here, oh my gosh, height limit for building is 128 blocks. Why in the world does that work like that? You can place blocks above the nether in Java Edition. Why can't you do it in Bedrock? That's kind of stupid. And there's no game rule for this either. You can't change this at all. So yes, that is stupidly real for some dumb reason. I have no clue why. So when you're falling and you land in a bed, you're fine. It sounds crazy, but you really are fine. However, just because you're fine doesn't mean we can't go without penalizing you. When you get out of the bed, you will die. So pretty much the bed's canceling out the fall until you get out. Unless you had something to break your fall underneath you, like this person did. They put water underneath them, they broke the bed, and they fell in the water, which broke their fall, and they survived. But yes, this is indeed real. Okay, this is just, I don't even know what to make of this. So here's the leggings, and I'm gonna pick these up, and it's not working at all. Okay. I mean, I'll try it with the helmet, but I don't think it's gonna do anything. No, it does literally nothing. And if this were even possible, it would be a visual glitch, and the items crafted would completely disappear, because that's how most of them work. So I have this right here. I have never used this before, so we're gonna try it out. Go in survival here, and here we go. Bam. Oh my god. That looks so stupid. That looks so stupid, bro. I think what would be a little bit better is if we had a dragon head for this. I don't know what this is gonna look like, but oh my gosh, it's too big for the screen. Dude, so as you saw there, you can pretty much change this to literally any item you'd like. And it is pretty funny when you see the options you have. Okay, so I have a command block right here. With this command in here, that'll place the end city structure. And okay, just got rid of the command block. And here is the end city. We literally have an end city in the overworld. So this can be done with all structures in the game. The village, the igloo, the desert temple, etc. Literally every single structure. And this is just another one of those weird Minecraft commands. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe because we're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year.